Tires. Our guest for today is Dr. Sadida Ahmed. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Welcome to our workshop, ma'am. It's such a pleasure having you with us today.
Yes, it is lovely to be here with you.
As we all know, today we are going to talk about bonsai. And ma'am has learned the art of bonsai in USA and she's practicing it since 1998. She also has a very beautiful farm near Sangareddy where she grows different kinds of herbs, fruits, medicinal plants, vegetables, and paddy that are all grown organically. We are all very excited to learn from you the art of bonsai, ma'am. And today, she will be talking us about how we can make bonsais with using very simple tools and without spending a lot of money.
Yes.
Without wasting any more time, let's get started, ma'am. Over to you.
All right. Nice to be here with you all today. And today we are going to see how to practice this art of bonsai. Um, I started my bonsai journey around 1980 in the United States. That's when I migrated from Hyderabad to Pennsylvania and wanted to grow plants and trees that I was familiar with. But in that area where I was living, it was very cold, and so you had to grow plants for like 5 6 months inside the house, and the rest of the time outside in the summer months. So what happened was taking plants in pots in and out twice a year. It became a big hassle. So I started to look for ways to shrink the plants so I can still grow tamarind and all the mango and whatever else I was familiar with here um, inside my apartment. So that's how my journey to bonsai began. Bonsai is a Chinese and Japanese art, and they have made it, uh, they have perfected it to like little details like how the shape of the tree should be and how the pot should be and what soil to use and all. But here in Hyderabad, you cannot transfer everything just the way it is over there. So based on what we have available locally, we have to practice. We have to use these things, these trees here, and develop it, give it a local tint, and start doing things here. So that's what I have started doing. Since I have a farm that grows mainly mangoes and other tropical fruits. I'm trying to see if I can do it with those trees. So, for example, here is a guava, jam ka jhad hai here. This is a guava tree.
Hello, ma'am. I think there's a connection problem at ma'am's end.
Our bonsai is really to have a tree, a tree that is very tiny and a small, and it is looks like an old tree. So it is a young tree, but you want to make it look like an old tree. So इसलिए that's why we use different kind of things to do that. So some perfectionists and people abroad, they use specific tools, and tools are like scissors that are special to cutting the tips off, um, and um, this kind of branch cutter that cuts branches in a way that are parallel to the trunk. Um, but you don't need all these kind of special things. If you want, you can get them on Amazon and you can get those, but you don't really need them. You can use just your basic pruners. And mostly I grow clip and grow. So I just clip off what I don't need, I clip off. So like this mehendi tree, I will clip off because I don't like this one. But you can use this for that. Uh, but special stuff like bending branches and all these things you can use and practice when you need to use them. Um, so the next important thing you need that is different from a regular potted plant is the pots you use for bonsai. So what you have to think about is the depth of the pot, and this cannot be it cannot be very deep. It has to be maximum 3-4 inches. So the smaller the pot is, the smaller the tree is, the more beautiful it is. Um, so here is a bougainvillea, and it is in this little pot for as long as the roots are not bond. Then you will take it out and you will.
There's an echo from your side, Srini.
Just give me a minute. I've changed the device.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Yes. Can you focus a little on ma'am's face?
Fine.
I need to get down.
We can see the plants, but we can't see ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks okay.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so for pots, you don't need to buy expensive bonsai pots. You can use whatever you have available. So we use plastic. We use nursery bags. We use used food containers of plastic, and we of course use the ceramic pots. So the problem with all these things is in the Indian summer, Hyderabad summer, um, tropical heat is too much for these pots. So first of all, you have a very small depth, so the water doesn't stay there long enough. So you have to compensate for all of that, and I compensate by not putting them all out in the sun. I keep them. They only get morning sun. Some plants get afternoon sun. Other plants are planted under the coconut trees, so there is shade on them all the time. So you can, depending on which plant you have, you can adjust it to your requirement. And then the third and most important is the soil. Soil, we make our own bonsai soil because buying outside is very expensive. We use our own coconut palms and we use the oil that comes out from it. We use it for making the cocoa peat. And then we use our own sand that is on our grounds. And it looks like this. It's a little bit coarse. It's you can use the sand they use for buildings or something like that, but you can also use from what you see on the road. And then we have compost. This is all the waste we get on the farm, all the straw, weeds, leaves, and all. We use it for making compost. And then we have a mixture of garden soil. In here, we have mixed uh, clay and different things like that. Clay, so, sand, and
That's right.
um, cow or sheep manure. And then we have these rocks that are the coarser sand kind of thing. They are like little pebbles, and you put a screen through the sand, and you get these bigger kind of things. So we mix all that depending on our need. The sand helps the water drain real fast, and cocoa peat provides some moisture. It holds water, and then compost is for food, and this coir helps with retaining water, and this one has the food, energy, fertilizer, and all. And we mix all that as needed, and we make our own soil. For example, we want this one to stay like this, uh, and only give us flowers. So this is a bougainvillea plant tree. So on this one we will put compost on top. We'll do a top dressing of compost and manure, and it will flower for us. And if we get any branches around here, we will clean them off and only keep the top like that. So it gives you an idea like the tree is going in that direction. So that is the things that we use for our soil: compost, garden soil, sand, gravel, cocoa peat, coconut paste, and all of that. So from here we'll go to the roots. So the difference between a regular potted plant and a bonsai is you have to cut the roots, because look, this pot is very small, and in here we are putting this big tree, and this is a tree that grows well on the streets, and you can see that all over Hyderabad. And the interesting thing about this tree is the way the roots grow. So you want to show off. So we are
Yes,
going to plant.
amazing.
So you want to plant it in a pot like this big, and so when it is goes in, like it will look like that, right?
Beautiful, yeah.
So we want to expose. So just today we took it out before the workshop, so you can see it. So we wrapped it with a wet cloth till we needed to use it. So now it is here, and we want to reduce the roots. So we are going to take this off, and we are going to the roots that are here already. We don't want them, so we'll take them off. I'll just take off one, but I'll leave the others. These ones, they will die on their own when they are exposed to the air. So we'll just take off a couple so you know how to take it off. And then you take it off on here also. And then at the bottom, we don't want this to stick out like that. So we'll take this off. So this long root we don't want. And in the pot, you want to keep it, like normally you would just plant it like this, but we want to plant it so that this root is exposed. So we'll try and plant it at an angle like that. I don't know if you can see it, but it is at an angle. And
Yes, Emma.
Yes, we can see it. Nice.
and we already prepared the pot. The pot has You need a big hole in the pot because you need the water to drain, and we have put a plastic screen in there to stop it from losing sand. And then you plant it like this, and you plant it like that, just like that. And for now, we'll just stick it with this wire, and later on, I will plant it just like a regular. And only thing I'm doing is I'm exposing this whole twisted trunk. And it will um, just letting it going to go just like this, and you will display it just like that.
Ah, lovely.
And you will just give it enough water so that your soil is wet and it's drained. And maybe if you keep it inside, you can keep it outside as well. And this is a tree that gets black back budding. So it tree the top is here, but it can also sprout branches all over this area. So if you want to now reduce the size of the tree, you can just cut it here, and you will get a new branch coming out here, and something like this will pop up right here. So here is the end of this, and I don't like this. I don't know if you can see it, but on the top there is this dead piece of wood. I want to remove that, so I'll use regular scissors and try and cut it off. But yeah, okay. So this is I'll give it to these guys here to fill it up and pot it up properly.
That looked really easy, ma'am. It was wonderful to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So we have another one like that. I'll just show it to you, and I
Sure.
won't I won't do it like that, but I'll just show it to you. I had planted three of these trees in the same pot, and that was one, and then another one is like this, and again it has all this root system like that, and I will fix all that. And I like this one better because this trunk is going like this. It's not a straight up trunk, so it has like a thing going like that, like in a curve. So now you
Yeah.
will have to decide when you plant it which part is the front of the tree and which is the back, and how you will display it, and you will think all those things, and then you will take off the roots from the top and expose it in the bud. Okay.
Yes. Lovely.
And on the top you can see the growth point, right? So you can pinch that off. So once you pinch that off, the tree, instead of growing tall like that, it will sprout side branches. So since right now it doesn't have any side branches, that's what I'll do to make side branches come up. So
Okay.
if anybody told you that bonsai is ready and it will stay like that, don't believe them, because it doesn't. It keeps changing. It's a living thing, so it will change how it looks. Okay.
Okay.
So that was an example of our how we manage the root ball of the tree. Okay, now I'll show you one that we are doing about with people. So people is a ficus tree. So if you are just starting out in bonsai and you don't want to do fruit trees. You want to focus on one tree so you get to know how it works. Ficus would be a good tree to start. So ficus, I personally like people a lot because you can do fun things with the leaves, and the leaves can be as big as my hand or bigger, or they can be really tiny, like in this one, um, like how small they are. And there are
Uh-huh.
smaller, even smaller ones inside. I don't know if you can show this on the camera, the little tiniest ones inside.
Yes, we can see.
They're very tiny.
Yeah,
Uh,
very
they can
cute.
be they can be like this, 2 hands big. So
Okay.
you can reduce leaves and you can manage how it looks and all. But this one we planted. I think we have a date on. I don't have. But we planted it some time ago and we just let it grow. And now we want to expose the trunk. Like right now, you will see that it is all leaves and you can't see the trunk. So today I'll clean up the trunk, and to clean up the trunk, you just clean whatever all the little branches that are growing on the trunk. And I got used to replanting these little pieces that come off the tree. You you put these cuttings in the soil and you grow a new plant. Because I'll show you later what we do with that.
Okay. Ma'am, which tool is this that you are using? Is it a
I'm
special
using a bonsai scissors,
scissors?
and the
Okay.
thing with that is it's very this thing is not very big, and it's
Okay.
quite sharp. A good thing with ficus trees is they seal themselves, so they'll exude a white uh, like white liquid, and the liquid will seal the cut branch. So let me take this off so you can see how the trunk looks. So here is the trunk, and there's a new root is coming out here. So we'll let this root grow, and then we'll take this out, and we'll put this root back in the soil. So you will have an aerial root that is going down inside. Okay, so this is how we clean it. So the purpose we needed to take this off is like we let it grow. Then we just let it grow wild, and it grew everywhere, and it grew branches and leaves all over the place. And we don't want it like that. So we took off, and then we gave it a little bit of a shape, and we took off all the dead pieces, and then you have it in a. Now you can see how it is going. And this pot is way too big for this, but we are growing it in here, so it grows better, grows big. If you put it in a small pot and restrict it, then you are not going to see much growth. So it is still changing all over.
Okay.
So for ficuses, what you do is you let them grow, and you make it a little bit in the humid area, and they sprout these aerial roots. You can see all over this plant there are aerial roots. So these are all aerial roots. So what we will do now is we'll get a cloth and wet it, and we'll put some of this coir, some of this coconut waste, and we wrap all these here. We wrap it, and then we take a wet cloth and we wrap it around it. So the aerial roots will get wet and stay wet. And then you just leave it like this. And when you water the plant, you water the cloth also. The cloth stays wet, and it provides humidity and moisture to all the aerial roots. And very soon these will be, they'll get fleshy and they'll get fat. And then you put it around like that, and then you make it all come down like that, and then you have a plant with.
Okay.
So now I will give you another example of that. So this one is also like that. We top dressed it with compost. This is also a ficus. ये ficus benjamina है ये. A double trunk है इसके ऊपर. And we don't want it to, we let it grow a little bit, but we don't want it like going all over the place. So one of the rules is that um, whatever size pot you have, the tree should be twice as long as that. So let's say it is a little bit less than this, but it is like this size. So our tree cannot be longer than two of this. So there is still room for this to grow a little bit. So we can leave it alone. But if we don't want to leave it alone, we want to shrink it a little bit. We we take the tops off. You can see the new growth and the new leaf coming out in the ficus, and you just go and you take it off. Just snip it. And so for some plants, you worry because there is a wound, but here the liquid is going to seal it right away. So you have to be a person who wants to play with your plant all the time. Otherwise, if you only see your plant once a week, then it's not going to work. Bonsai is very hands-on.
Uh-huh. They need
So this is
constant
like,
care and attention.
yes, this is about like 2 weeks of growth, and we just took off all the extra pieces, and here is how the roots are coming along. You can see them coming. The aerial roots are coming from up here, and they are going down into the soil. And there's a rock down here. We want the roots to grab the rock, and we want the roots to grab the trunk. And then you go. They want to go like that. And to help them along, go along like that. We keep some coir, and we keep some wet fabric, and we just wrap the whole thing up so those roots don't go everywhere they want.
Okay.
We keep the rock wet also because we want the roots to grab onto the rock. And when we take it out of this here, the other roots would have already grabbed onto the rock, and it will look like a rock covered with plants. So that's why I like ficus. That's Benjamina ficus, and this is there is a buller also. Buller is also a ficus, and this one is also a ficus. And this ficus, we want it's like a weeping tree. We want all the branches to come down and be like this.
Okay.
So, so we are attempting to make it like that, like that. So to do that, we have to manipulate the uh, sticks, and also we have this one branch coming out like that, and we are using this bending wire, and we have it stuck like that, and so it will go like that. So if this branch comes out just the way we want, we might take this entire thing off, and it will just be this one branch going like this. Once it goes like that, and then we'll make it like come back up again. It will be like something like
Okay. Lovely.
that. वो बड़े वाला बताएंगे. So the thing with these people trees is they grow in different places that you don't want them to grow in. They grow on walls. They grow on walls. They grow on top of another tree. So this one was growing on our mango tree that is 100 years old. This
Oh,
this tree was growing on top of it. So we took it out, and now we want to preserve it, keep it, because look at this thing. This is very big, so we don't want to
yes.
lose that. So what we are going to do now is, first of all, it has a top that we didn't want. So this is the top of the tree. It was right
Okay.
here. Don't know if you can see it, but it's coming. So that on that spot right there, this part was there. So this tree was on top of that.
Oh,
So we
okay.
made it into two trees. We took that off, and
Mm-hmm.
now we have the top, and we just did it less than a less than a month ago. We air layered it, and now we have it in here, and it has not developed its own roots. So there's still time for us to do something with its roots. So what we are doing now is letting the roots develop, and once the roots are all up and we are happy with the root growth, we will reduce these. So right now we cannot work. A lot of bonsai people, they tell you, they show you that they worked on the entire tree at one go. I'm afraid of killing my trees, so I don't do that. If I'm working on the roots, I don't do anything with my branches, or if I'm doing something on my trunk, I don't mess with the roots. So this one I'm going to let the roots develop, and then I'm going to work on the top part and reduce. And
Oh, okay.
also from the same tree, I I took cuttings and I made two more trees. So later on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fuse these. So I'm going to take these two trees, and I'm going to fuse them both together. And so then I'll have a tree with a thicker uh, trunk, and a trunk will have more character. And I'll remove these big. Um, you see, these trees have anchoring roots. So these roots are not for feeding, but just to anchor the tree in the soil. So we don't need them because our tree is not anchored in the soil. So we just take this off and we remove this anchor. And we'll plant it back and wait for the roots to develop on this one. And then when they are
Okay.
done, then we will attach it to this. So if I want to take up multiple branches and make one big tree, I use cuttings from the same tree, because then the leaves and the stem and all that, they match each other because they're all from the same tree. If I take three different plants and I put them together, then there is differences in the way the leaves are, in how the trunk grows and all, and it doesn't match. It doesn't look right.
Okay.
So people is my absolute favorite. I like the way how the leaves have this drip thing on it, and how they how well the root system works on that. And
I
those
see.
trees are free. They grow everywhere. You can see them by the side of the road. Sometimes they are, you can pick it up and bring it, take it. That is
Yeah. A very easy to find plant and easy to grow also.
easy to grow, and you just absolutely cannot kill it. You can
Okay.
always you can take a little piece of it and you stick it in and it will grow, or you put it in the water and it will grow roots from the water and then you plant it.
Okay.
So that is how you develop various ways of developing bigger trunks. So you cannot
Okay.
take, like, you can look at this and say, oh, this is very very tiny and it is not looking very bonsai-ish. Then what you do is you air layer the top part of this tree and you joint it to the trunk and make your trunk thicker. So there are ways of doing some stuff like that. And only when you're displaying the tree, you want to have it in its small pot. The rest of the
Okay.
time, you can put it in a bigger pot and just let it grow. So, for example, we have this one tree. This is very special tree. Um, it's a it's a it's called Hatiyan in Hyderabad, but it
Uh-huh.
is Adansonia digita. That it's called. It's an African tree, and
Okay.
it, I got a seed from my brother. He went to South Africa 12 years ago, and he brought me seeds, and they were sitting in a inside a table drawer for many years, and finally 2 years ago, two, what is this? 2017, we were able to plant them and sprout it, and we got one tree out of it. And this is absolutely the worst tree for growing bonsai because it is very very slow growing. So
Oh,
you
okay.
just have to you just have to plant it in a big pot, and I just planted it in a big pot, and I just let it grow, and it only gets leaves in the same in the right season. Once the season is gone, the leaves drop off, and then it just stays a stick, and you just keep the stick for I don't know months and months, and then you just wait for it to sprout new leaves, and you can see they are sprouting there. And we have
Yes.
not cut anything on this tree, and this tree is now
Yes.
2017 से अब कितने दिन में?
4
17
years.
4 years. This tree is 4 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And it's still so tiny.
it is still tiny, and we are feeding it all the food we can feed it, and and look at the size of the leaves, and they're just, I don't know, it just looks very very tiny. So you have to have the patience to wait it out.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
On the other hand, you can grow something like hibiscus. इसको गुडेल बोलते हैं ना हैदराबाद में. This is a
Yes.
gudel thing, and it comes up. It grows very very fast, and it grows very fast, and you can shape it any way you want, and you can plant it. Even if it dies, you can get another one very.
Yes.
My God.
It's an all season plant, so we don't have to wait for any season
Yes,
for it to
yes, yes.
flower. And
And then there is this one. This is a medicinal herb. It's called. It's giloy बोलते हैं ना इसको. This is called giloy. And
uh-huh.
look at the trunk of this tree. This is
Wow.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
So only to see that I grow it, but there's all this the other stuff is horrible. This grows long, and it goes all over, and it blocks light for other trees and all. And I just take off and
पीछे
just
से नहीं
leave two
देखना.
or three leaves on it, and I just like to see
Uh-huh.
this trunk. So after some time, I might get tired of this pot, and I might change it to a smaller pot or something else I like, and just watch the stem grow. So if I keep removing the leaf, it's not going to be able to make enough food to make this grow big. So it will
Okay.
just stay this size.
Uh-huh.
And then you can grow, this is a gumsi. So long time ago, they used to measure gold with these red seeds. They're called gumsi. So
Uh-huh.
this is what it is from there. This is a fast growing tree. You can grow it. uh, कितने दिन लगे बीज आने के लिए इसमें? It took 1 month for it to sprout, and
Okay.
after it sprouted, it is doing fine. So I'm having it in a nursery bag for now. Later on, I will change it to one of these ceramic pots.
Okay.
And this is starfruit or bilambi. Bilambi. Yeah, this is a bilambi tree. It is a full grown. It will give fruit, but I am growing this from seed. And I grow a lot of things from seed because you won't find them in the shape you want in the nursery. So
Okay.
I make my own that way.
I see.
Star fruit also I have what was that? Mangoes, मोतिये का भी है हमारे पास मोतिये भी है मोतिया रात की रानी any plant you like and love you can
Uh-huh.
put it in the pot that you like and
Yes.
you can put it where you want to enjoy it. So Raat Ki Rani normally you cannot enjoy it inside the house. So
Yes.
I keep it outside until it is ready to bloom. And then
Okay.
at that point I change the pot from this plastic pot to one of these nicer ceramic pots. I take it inside and I enjoy the flowers and then once the flowers are dead, I bring it back and I plant it back in this and let it
Okay.
stay and rest outside.
Uh-huh. So, ma'am, when we see bonsai in pictures and photographs, they have a particular design or pattern, what you call it. So, we can do that patterns with these plants also.
Some of those patterns we can do, some of those we cannot. For example, a lot of bonsais from Japan and United States, they are made with pine trees. So
Uh-huh.
we don't have pine here. We have one that is called saru, but it doesn't. I have not been very successful with it. So the design they want is like one design they have. The Japanese is called literati, and the literati goes up straight, but it looks a little bit bowed towards you. You can make the design from bonsai, from bougainvillea. So it will look something like that. So instead of planting it like this, you would
Uh-huh.
plant it like this,
Okay.
and the tree would be like this, a little bit bowing towards you. So if you go
Oh,
to Japanese people, they bow a little bit to you, right in
yes.
greeting. So the tree will be like that. It's called the literati style, and you can
Okay.
do that with bougainvillea. But you
Oh,
cannot do it with a lot of other trees.
uh-huh.
So we have to develop our own styles from our local trees that grow
Okay.
well here. So for example, this is my gulle. It's kind of ficus.
Uh-huh.
It gets these red berries. They are called gulle in Hyderabad. And
Yes.
I was growing this, and it became um, as a Japanese style karate, straight up
Mm-hmm.
tree. And what happened was, I don't know if you can see the trunk, but there is a reverse taper. So it is thin at the bottom, and then in the middle it is fat, and then it becomes thin again, and it goes up like that. So this
Yes,
would be
yes.
this is a big error in Japanese style because they don't
Oh,
like reverse taper. But
Okay.
our tree guler is not going to accept that. So every place where it has a branch, it is fat. So
Okay.
there is a node here in this tree, and it is going to be fat here. And no matter what I do to it, it is still going to stay fat.
Oh,
So
okay.
all these styles they have as guidelines, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
you choose. I think first thing you need to choose is choose a tree that you like. And
Okay.
for beginners, if you want, like, ficus is a good one. Bougainvillea is also a good one. And if you want a fruit tree, you can choose any number of tropical fruit trees. Even vines you can use. And
Uh-huh.
look at the tree. Like, if you want to make a tree uh, with this star fruit belambi kind of tree, then you look at the one that is outside that is grown up and it's maybe 30, 40 years old. You look at that tree and you try to create that style in miniature.
Yes.
So, so I have a lot of examples of mango trees. So now I can use one of those mango trees and I can make a miniature mango tree. But it will only, mango tree will be able to shrink only to a little extent. So only I can use one of these big pots,
Uh-huh.
and I have a mango tree here. I can plant it in it and try to recreate the shape you see around me. I don't know if your camera is catching all the mango trees in the orchard, but you can take any of those as an example and see
Oh,
what. So if you see
yes.
one that has, the tree goes up to some certain size, it is just bare trunk. After that,
Yes.
it splits into three or four branches, and you
Uh-huh.
can do that here, and you can just make a miniature mango that will fit this pot.
Okay. That's a very good tip, ma'am, that you have given. Like whenever we spoke about bonsai, we thought it is only those Japanese styles that we see on uh, photographs and posters,
Photograph.
and we
Yeah.
have to train the branches with wires and shape them and make them attractive.
So those trees, the temperate zone trees, the ones that are suitable for Maryland, Pennsylvania, Japan, those trees bend with this wire very easily. I have this wire,
Mm-hmm.
and if I use this wire here, these trees are just snapping off. So I'm not able
Oh,
to use this wire to bend this tree that much. So
okay.
the Japanese will use that bending wire and bend this into like this shape. Okay, but this
Yes.
one won't. This tree will only let me do a little bit like that. It will, otherwise it will snap, and then you have a dead tree. So you have to
Yes.
experiment. You have to experiment with all of these. And like tamarind trees, you can grow. In Hyderabad, in the old days, they used to have what is called imli bun. So there is
Uh-huh.
even a bus stop called imli bun. So it
Yes.
is really a forest with tamarind trees. So you won't find any of those in your in like non temperate zone trees. But I want to have a imli bun. So I planted some imli seeds, and now I have a whole bunch of imli trees out here. I will show it
Hmm.
to you afterwards. And
Okay.
We can see they are growing at the top.
Lovely.
so once those trees are ready, we will dig them up, and we will
Uh-huh.
use this big basket,
Okay.
and we'll line it with coir, so all these holes are not so big, and drain the soil, and we'll put those imli in here and make a imli tamarind forest. And
Oh,
of course, it
okay.
is not going to be anywhere. Nobody else has thought of that. So they, if they have, if they have a Imli forest, it's not going to look the same as mine. So, so that's where we have to start and create our own style and our own way of doing things. So if you
Yes.
want to go for like fruit trees, you can make anar, jackfruit, pomegranate, star fruit, sitafal. All these trees that one of the Japanese rules is that the leaf should shrink and become smaller. So,
Okay.
so this one, like for example, once it becomes a bonsai tree, it will be like 1/10 the size of this leaf. So
Uh-huh.
if you start with pomegranate, anar has small leaves, so that can work.
Okay. So about how long does it take for a plant to become a complete bonsai?
It is never completed. So you start and
Okay.
you can initially, if you want to start from seed,
Yes.
um, start it like if you start around one monsoon, the next monsoon, if it is a fast growing plant, it should be ready to be made into a bonsai. So all the seeds I planted this year, next year I will plant them in bonsai pots and start. Some trees, some plants, they only get leaves after monsoons. Like
Okay.
if like neem, if you use neem, it will have fruit in the summer and then all the leaves will drop off and um, during the rainy season it will get new leaves and branches. And after that, after say around October, so it will stop growing and it will not grow again until the next monsoon season. So that kind of tree is not very fast growing. But if you use pomegranate, it can grow all the time depending on how much food you're giving it. Um, Bougainvillea also will do the same. It will grow all the time. Um, Bougainvillea flowers once a year, then it will get flowers during that period, and the rest of the time it will just be leaves.
Okay. So, ma'am,
So hmm,
when we grow fruit plants as bonsai, uh, do they give fruits?
they do. I have had pomegranates on my pomegranate tree,
Okay.
and I also had cherries, Suryanam cherries, and so sitafal.
So,
Sitafal
is
I
it the
had in Maryland, not here. I also
uh-huh,
had limes, lemon, all citrus fruits came up,
uh-huh.
and these big ones
So,
like mangoes and jackfruits. I haven't personally had them, but I have seen uh, places where they have flowered and fruited.
yes. So it takes the same time for a bonsai plant to fruit like a normal plant, or does it
Yes,
differ?
yes. If you a mango tree, like, if it is growing from a seed, it will take 6 7 years to give you fruit.
Okay.
But to make it fruit faster, you can graft a mango tree, and you will get fruits next year. So it is the same for bonsai. If you use a seed to grow a mango tree, it will take 6 7 years, 8 years before it will have flowers. But other fruits that fruit quickly, you can use and have them in 2 3 years.
Okay.
Suryanam cherry, you will have it next year, I think. Also, you will have salsa. Also, you will have next year. Like once you plant it in 1 year, 1 or 2 years, you will have.
Okay.
And you will
And
you
what
will have
about
to give it a lot of food and make it grow a lot. And each time it grows, you have to clip it off and keep it in
okay.
shape.
Okay. What about the size of the fruit? Will it be the same?
It will be the same. It will look the same, but it will be more like you're so happy that your pomegranate tree has a pomegranate, you don't want to eat it. You will just keep it for display.
No, I just wanted to know, ma'am. Like you said, once the plant is made a bonsai, the leaves will shrink. So, will the
Yes,
fruit size also shrink?
it will not. If you don't give it enough food, then it will shrink.
Okay.
If it has enough food and fertilizer and nourishment, and the leaves are there, then it will
Yes.
have regular size fruit. Fruit will not
Okay.
shrink.
Amazing.
So
Uh,
if the guller tree gets guller on it, um, I remove those gullers because you don't eat it, but they suck up a lot of energy from the tree. They might even kill it, so I take it off.
uh-huh. Okay, ma'am. That was wonderful learning so many things from you. Is there anything else, ma'am, that you have left to discuss, share, and show?
One thing I want to share is that you will kill a lot of trees. So, so be prepared for that. Don't feel bad.
Uh-huh.
They will die. They don't like some trees don't like their roots being handled. Some
Uh-huh.
trees don't like being moved from one location to another. So
Yes.
if you keep the tree rest of the time in the balcony, and then on a special occasion you bring it inside and use it as a table setting, it might not like it, you know, and it might
Yes.
all the leaves might drop and it will look horrible. So don't feel bad like that you killed it. You are going to kill them. So don't feel like okay, I spent all this time on it and it died. It's going to happen. So
It's a
that is one thing. And second is don't go out and buy an expensive bonsai tree from people for 5,000 rupees or something and then not enjoy it. So the real enjoyment is in the process. The real
yes.
enjoyment is in mixing the soil and figuring out ways like okay, in USA I use the wire to bend it. Here I cannot use it. What to do now to bend it?
Uh-huh.
So coming up with those solutions is the fun part of bonsai for me.
Yes. Absolutely. Bonsai is like a hobby, an all-time hobby. Staying connected with plants, taking care of them all, like
Yes,
throughout their life, training them, pruning them.
yes. People will really enjoy a bonsai you made and gifted it to them instead of like just saying, okay, here's a plant or a return gift I brought at the nursery. Here is a plant that I created the shape and size and all that for you specifically.
Yes, yes,
So I
absolutely.
enjoy that. And I also enjoy working with new and different trees. So
Uh-huh.
my hope one day is to have at my orchard all the trees that are local to this area.
Okay.
So previous like farmlands and all we have lost so much diversity, and it's hard for people to find trees that are native to certain areas. So
Okay.
I would like to get back on that. So you cannot grow a giant star fruit in your balcony on the fifth floor, but you can grow a little tree. You can,
Yes.
if need be, you can then plant it in the soil, but you can also enjoy it in a little pot.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, ma'am. So, like that brings us to closing our session. It was lovely having you with us, ma'am. It was an absolute pleasure learning so many things from you.
Thank
And
you for inviting me. I enjoyed it also. Please visit again. Come and
sure,
see it in person, and
yes,
you
yes,
will.
ma'am. Whenever I visit Hyderabad, I will make it a point to come and visit your farm. It
Yes,
looks
please
really
come.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much. Goodbye. Nice being with you.
Goodbye. Thank you all the viewers for joining us today for this workshop. And if you want any more information, if you want to contact ma'am, we have put her Instagram handle link below. You can check out her page where she's growing all the organic vegetables and also the bonsais there. And if you need any more information, you can always contact us as well, and we will guide you to ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye.